Right, here we are, welcome back to another video guys. We're back out on the bank for another session. It's the 14th of November, 9:30 in the morning. It's a Wednesday morning, I should be at work. I've got the week off this week. It's my sister's wedding this weekend, so I decided to take the rest of the week off and come and do a bit of fishing. I've actually got 48 hours for this session, which is absolutely incredible for me because that never happens. I normally get quick overnighters, at best 24 hours. So 48 hour session, down on the railway pit, bringing you guys along with me. Hopefully we'll have a few out. I've started baiting a little area already. I've literally just chucked about 15 boilies, I'd say, between these two trees, this little gap between these two trees here. So I'm going to have one in here, I'm talking about tonight. I'm going to have one rod in this gap tonight. I'm seeing a lot of fish crashing a little bit further down this end of the lake first thing this morning as I walked in. I was going to set up a little bit further down there, but I've come on to peg 30, the island swim. No rods out yet. I've got my rods out on the floor, I've got my brolly behind me, it's all set up. I got down here, I did have a session, a quick overnight, literally on Friday night before I went back to London for my sister's wedding. So I wanted to get the brolly up as soon as possible because it was still wet from the last session, just to try and dry it out a little bit. I'm literally just getting myself set up. I'm thinking, I've got 48 hours on this session. I'm thinking what I might do, I'll either end up doing 48 hours on the railway pit where we are now, or possibly I might do 24 hours on here, depending, and see how I get on tonight. I might go over onto the mere for the last 24 hours. So we might end up having a 48 hour session with two different lakes in it, which will be quite interesting. It's not something it's something I've done before, but it's not something I've filmed before. So we'll see how it ends up. Let's get the first 24 hours out of the way, see what's showing, see if we get any fish on the bank. If we do, we'll probably stay put. If we don't, we'll probably move over onto the mere. It's a little bit harder on the mere, but if I'm sitting here blanking, I'd rather sit over there and blank and have a chance of a better sized fish. So we're out, we're happy, we're fishing, we're on the railway pit. Welcome back to another video guys. Right, it's just coming up to 1:30. Now I'm a little bit more sorted, a little bit more settled. I'll run you through my plan for this evening and what I've done so far on this session. So when I started the session, I've done something that I never normally do, and I tied up two solid PVA bags. I know why I don't use them now, because they're an absolute pain in the backside to tie up, but I suppose if you're not used to it, you know, they're a little bit fiddly. I didn't struggle with it as such, but I just think they're a lot of effort for what it is. One cast, you're going to get one cast at it as well, don't you? If it hits the deck and it's wrong, you've got to bring it in, you wasted your bag, you wasted your time. So my left hand rod went right down this end, around about this area here, just under this overhanging tree. As I said when I first started the video, when I first come in this morning, I saw some fish down that end, so I thought why not chuck one down there and see what happens. I did have a little bit of an occurrence on the left hand rod. It was a liner, I think. Me being a bit keen, I sort of kind of struck into it a little bit early. The bobbin pulled right to the top, but it didn't take any line. So I wound it back in. There was quite a lot of litter on the bottom. What I mean by that is there was, I brought in a couple of leaves on the hook, even with a solid PVA bag. that was fishing on a bottom bait, to be fair, and not a wafter, but it's kind of got me thinking the approach for this evening, which I'll go on to in just a little bit. Right hand rod, I basically flicked out just next to this eco island here. I casted it around about this sort of area. Same again, solid PVA bag. When I was just sitting under my brolly, just sitting down there chilling out, a fish top just right in the edge, around about this sort of area. So what I've done is I've brought the right hand rod in, retied a solid bag on it, and then flicked it just down in the edge, just down there. So, you know, there's a fish top down there, so I'm going to leave that now until this evening. That's on a wafter, see if anything happens with that. If it doesn't happen before dark, I'll bring the rod in, put on my rigs that I've selected for tonight and that I've already tied up, and they're hanging up just in my brolly there. For this evening, all ready to go. Excuse the train coming past here on the railway pit. So yeah, that's it. Gonna leave the right hand rod, rigs are in there, ready to go. So the rig that I've chosen to use tonight is something that I tried for the very first time last time I was down here on the railway pit. So it's a pop-up rig, and like I said earlier, when I brought the solid bag in, there was quite a lot of leaf litter on there, on the hook, around the hook, so it's making me want to fish a pop-up. Now, I did fish this pop-up rig last time I was here, and I had 2 fish out on it, which obviously proves that it works. Normally I would fish a very low lying pop-up. I normally fish them about the length of the hook off the bottom. Literally I fish them right on the deck, but because of the time of year it is, with the leaves laying on the water, eventually those leaves die, they're going to fall down to the bottom, which is they've started doing now because we're at that time of year, autumn/winter. So the pop-up rig I've decided to use is a little bit taller, and they stand about an inch off the bottom. Tonight both rods are going out on that pop-up rig. Last time I was down here I had one on the yellow bait, one on the white bait, and the yellow caught both the fish, so I've got both of those rigs under the brolly ready to go, both on a yellow pop-up for this evening. So what I've been doing, the gap between these 2 trees here, I've been firing probably 8 or 10 baits about every hour to 45 minutes, something like that. That's a disused swim over on this side on the railway bank, so there's no chance nobody's going to come in and start fishing there. So I've been firing baits over there, like I say, about 8 to 10 baits about every 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm going to ping one over in here tonight, and that's going to be on the right hand rod. In my left hand rod I'm going to go right down here in this edge here. I'm going to go about here somewhere where you can see this overhanging branch that's here. I'm going to go maybe half a rod length off of it, so just kind of where the shadow is there of that tree, around about this sort of area. Yesterday I planned to go fishing on a little match lake for the day, just for a little bit of fun. I got down to the lake and it turned out, just got the old brew going down here, look, turn that off quickly. Yeah, so I managed to, I didn't manage, should I say, to get out on that session, because unfortunately I got down to the lake and it was closed. There's a disease in the area, so the guy who owned the lake didn't want it spreading, so he decided to close the lake, which makes perfect sense. So I didn't end up using that, and I mixed the ground bait before I went. So I thought, well, I'll bring it with me today, chuck it in the edge. So that's what I've done. Let me just go back to where I was. So just down in this edge, just under the little branch here, just kind of on the shadow, I've chucked, it's not a lot, I would say 10, maybe 8, I would say, ground bait balls about the size of a golf ball, literally just in that area there. I've chucked a few boilies in there as well. I'm going to put a little bit of corn down there tonight as well. I'm talking little bits of bait, I'm not putting a lot of each thing that I'm putting in. I've probably put about 15-20 boilies down there so far. Like I said, about 8 to 10 balls about that sort of size of ground bait. And then like I say, this evening I'll put about half a tin of sweet corn down there as well, and that'll be it. Another train coming past, apologies for that. So that's pretty much where I am at the moment. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to make me brew, chill out for a little while, and then I'll get back to you this evening when I'm recasting the rods. We haven't got that long before dark now, to be fair. It's probably about 2.5 hours away. Got short days, long nights now, obviously coming into winter, and then I'll get myself under the brolly, chill out, have a coffee. So I'll get back to you this evening before the recast. happy days, that'll do. First one in the bag, let's get her out and have a look. Well, what a result when I turn up for the books that was. Just as I'm going along saying, oh, I don't like using PVA bags and I think they're a waste of time, I go and have one on them. So, happy days. That one was on the bottom bait. I basically just had inline lead set up as you normally would on a solid PVA bag, and that goes down to probably a 4-inch, maybe 5-inch soft braided hook link, size 6 wide gape hook on there. Little bit of shrink tube push around the shape, the curve of the hook, and a 12mm manila bottom bait on there, and that was it. Job done. So it's good to have one in the bag. It means we ain't blanking, gives me a bit of confidence going into tonight. Speaking of tonight, I've got both rods all set up, ready to go. It's getting dark. It's 4:20 now, so it's going to be dark in half an hour probably, something like that. So I've got both rods out. Left hand rod has gone just down here, around about this sort of area, so just a nice little underarm flick just down into that spot there, and then what I did, I waited for a little bit of foam to pop up and then put half a tin of sweet corn over the top of that. I'm not sure how much of it the ducks got, they're still going for it now, but as long as they don't pick me up I should be alright. It's actually fairly deep there, it's probably about 8 or 9 foot of water there, so I don't think they can dive down that deep and get it, but I might be wrong, who knows. Anyway, they ain't picked me up yet. Right hand rod has gone over into the gap here, and it's what side? So it's this side here, which is a smaller tree. It's landed about here somewhere. It went absolutely spot on. It couldn't have gone better, to be fair. I just hope I don't get picked up on that rod. What I'll do is I'll wait for it to get a little bit darker, and then I'll fire a little bit more bait over there so the birds and the old white-nosed gremlins don't go down and get all my bait. So that's it. I've got both rods ready for tonight. I'm all set up. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I'm just going to chill out, have a little bit of dinner this evening, watch the light fade away, feeling confident for tonight. I've got those 2 rigs out. So yeah, 2 pop-ups out for this evening, and that's it. Going into a long night ahead. Like I said before, winter, short days, long nights, so probably getting myself wrapped up in my bag nice and early, keep myself warm with the old hot water bottle. But hopefully I'll be rudely interrupted with a fish at some point, and that's it. Right, I'll catch you in the morning. Thanks for watching, guys. See you at sunrise. Right, here we are. Good morning. As you can see from behind me here, there's a wet net, there's a wet mat. Pleased to say I had a successful night last night. I managed to have another 3 out, so I've had 4 out now in total. I had 1 out at about 7:20. Wasn't a big fish, probably about 8-9 pounds, something like that. I then went on to have another 1 out at 1:45 in the morning. That one was a little bit bigger. I'd probably put that one at about 12-13 pound, and then I had another 1 out after that at 1:20, which I put at about the same sort of weight, about 12-13 pound. It felt a lot bigger when I first hooked into it. I'm not gonna lie. All 3 fish come from over in this little cove that's between the 2 trees there. Yeah, it felt a lot bigger the last fish than that what it actually was. It got caught up on all this crap that you can see just down here. That's a load of twigs with a load of line wrapped around it. So the last fish took a little while to get in. I didn't panic, just sort of kept me cool and just sort of let a little bit of line off. The fish kind of freed itself because it was caught around all that debris on the bottom, and then it kind of popped out and out he come. He come in, I was dragging all that lot in with him. at the same time, which was a bit of a pain, but we managed to get the fish in and we managed to get that snag out of the water, which is good. So this morning I've gone back onto the solid bag approach. All 3 fish last night come on that pop-up rig that I showed you yesterday. So I've gone back onto the solid bag approach for this morning. It's just coming up sort of 10 o'clock. I was up at sunrise but my battery died, so I had to pop back to the car to recharge that. So I've got one chucked right down about there. It's literally right over the far side, and then I've got the right hand rod in this little gap here. So obviously it produced 3 fish for me last night, so I've whacked a solid bag over there as well. See how we get on. But I've got the birds diving down on me, seagulls waiting for me to king bait out, which I'm not going to do until this evening, I don't think. So that's it. I'm going to sit down, chill out, have a bit of breakfast, nice brew, catch up with you in a bit.